Hello everyone and welcome to a new video from Your Overwatch. I'm Eddie the Chump and today we'll be talking about Winston, how good he really is and how a large amount of players consistently underrate or underestimate him. Top tier scientist. Okay, so a lot of people regard Winston as a weak hero because of his perceived lack of damage. They see his Tesla cannon and think it an anemic weapon, unable to do the kind of burst damage of other heroes. Now of course this is partially true, it only does 60 damage per second. However, on the targets you need to be attacking as Winston, squishy targets with 200 HP like Mercy, Ana, Zenyatta, McCree, Genji, etc., it doesn't take long to actually kill them, especially when combined with other damage sources from your team, and that's the point. Winston is not a solo fragger and isn't meant to be. However, his damage is not only consistent but capable of hitting multiple targets at once. This blanket of damage on the right targets can be incredibly destructive and genuinely is one of the best edges you can develop in a team fight. The problem is perception. People who are used to more direct FPS games like Counter-Strike of Call of Duty might look at Winston's damage output and think it's bad because it doesn't equate to something that they are familiar with. Getting a headshot in CS, for example, is an incredibly direct action of personal agency within the game. I did action A, which resulted in result A, and always will. Therefore, either player am in total control. Winston is more abstract and more typical of characters from hero shooters or MOBAs. Your job as Winston is primarily disruption and creating space, forcing opponents into situations they don't want to be in, especially healers. Now healing in Overwatch is incredibly strong and so are the support ultimates. Mercy's Res or Ana's Nano Boost represent the biggest potential swing factors in the entire teamfight meta, but if Winston has already pressured them and either killed them or taken the entire backline to half HP, they might never get the chance to use their ultimate weapons. His leap, his shield, and the footsie game you can play with them mean that you can totally outplay a backline. There is no other hero in the game with the same range to his actions, and if played well can win games outright. This is why he is ever present at the pro level. He really is a meta hero and a top tier choice. Winston, a gateway hero. Understanding Winston, much like understanding Lucio, is a window into Overwatch as a team-based game, meaning if you learn to understand him properly, you will be learning fundamentals of the game that apply to every other role. Getting to grips with the decision-making process for good Winston play will develop game sense, who to target and why, when to go in and when to evade, how to play footsies against your counters, how to crowd control threats with your bubble shield or ultimate. All of these skills are required and can be transposed easily to other heroes. If you're a player that picks much more straightforward heroes like McCree, Widow, Reaper, etc., learning Winston will teach you so much more about what's actually going on that you will begin to see the game in a very different way. You will recognize openings quicker, understand when possible threats are building, and so on. Winston requires discipline as well, as he's not as durable as other tanks and plays in a part of the team fight that attracts focusing. So as the player you will have to learn the patience to see an opening but hold from going in because your team can't follow up. Placing his leaps to either do splash damage or to evade to a ledge requires more skill and aim than you might think. Your sense of where you should and shouldn't be will develop quickly as you learn him. That positioning game sense is easily applied to other heroes and their specific contexts. A meme of the community is no aim, no brain, Winston main. In truth, it's more like some aim, mostly brain, Winston main. When you play him well, it can feel like you always have man advantage when you need it. Pro breakdown. So for the final part of this video, I would like to share a play-by-play of Mido from the Korean team Lunatic High against Envy from OGN. In this play, Mido completely outplays Taimu, who is on Reaper, one of Winston's main counters and one of the best DPS players in the world. So what happens is Mido first crowd controls Taimu's Death Blossom with his own ultimate, limiting it to 1 kill. Then he takes Reaper on in a 1v1 footsie battle. Mido evades when Taimu receives a Zyra shield and then re-engages, popping his bubble and using its left edge to bait Taimu into attacking him while remaining largely unharmed. The shimmy he uses in and out of his bubble means that most of Taimu's shots don't land, and the whole time Mido is hitting him with the Tesla cannon. This is a huge outplay, and is only possible because Mido has incredible understanding of his own kit, what Reaper ideally wants to do, and how to use that desire against him. It displays great game sense and should demonstrate to you the kind of plays that are actually possible. Conclusion: Winston is one of the best heroes in Overwatch, but because he isn't an archetype a lot of FPS players are familiar with, a large chunk of the community consistently underrates him. This video has explained why that is a mistake, and if you've never played him or are hesitant to try, believe me, it is worth the investment and learning curve. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you want us to cover anything specific, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. Also, please follow the Your Overwatch Twitter, it's where you can find updates about new videos and streams. I've been Eddie the Chump, and until next time.